Hi guys, I'm coming to you guys with another video. Hi to everyone who is new to my channel. Welcome. I hope you like it. I hope you stay. Thank you to everyone who shares and likes and comments. I try my best to comment back to you guys because I really want to know what you think or whatever questions you have. I want to answer them. But this video will be about something I've wanted to address or just talk about for a while, and it's the things I wish I knew before I locked my hair. Okay, the first thing that I wish I knew before locking my hair is the part to size ratio. And what that is, to my understanding, is the parts of your hair will create a different size. Like right here in the front, I have these big parts, but look at the size of my locks. And in the middle up here, the parts aren't so big, but the locks are thicker. So that's what I mean by that, and also what size of parting, that makes sense, will get you what size of lock. You know, because when I went and got my locks started, I looked in a few natural hair magazines. I saw a set of locks on a woman that I liked, and I was like, oh, I want my hair to be like that. So that's what my loctician went off of, and that's not really accurate because I'm not that woman. I don't have her hair texture. I'm not starting with the length she started. So I was under the impression that my locks would come out looking like hers, which they didn't. They came out a whole lot thinner than hers. Hers were a whole lot thicker. Second thing, I wish I did more research on the best method of locking hair. And that's not saying one method is better than the other, but what method works best for what type of hair and what length that you choose to start with. I started with my hair about right here. I had a baby fro, so I thought I couldn't start with coils, so I told her I wanted to start with 2-strand twists, which is a misconception. I've seen people start with coils and their hair is like really, really long. So that was something that I wish I knew, that I wish I researched a little bit more and figured out what was the best method for my hair, my length, my texture, all of that being considered. Number 3 is shrinkage. I wish I knew. I mean, I know that black hair or any type of curly hair, once you get it wet, it will shrink. Once it's in this natural state, the length, of course, will shrink. However, I wasn't ready for I didn't think my locks would shrink because I started with my locks, I started with my hair about right here. And when my locks were first done with 2-strand twists, they were about right here, you know. Well, they shrunk a little bit because she washed them and then she twisted them, so they were about right here. But once they started to try and mature, they got to about right here, and I was like, wow, I didn't know they were gonna do that. I'll try to put a picture in here if I can find one, but that was my thing with the shrinkage. I wasn't ready for my hair to get shorter, because that's the point of starting off with some type of length. That way you don't have the baby dreads. But I got over it. I just wish I knew. Number 4, and a continuation from the shrinkage, I wish I knew how long it would take for my hair to lock, because I've seen people who locked and it took no time at all for their hair to start being a bit mature, and I thought I was gonna go and get locks. 6 months later, locked. No, that's not what happened. It took my hair about into a year and a half to start really looking like locks, to where people won't have to ask, oh, do you have locks? Because the first year, that's all I kept getting. Are those twists? What are those? So it took about a year and a half for them to start looking like actual locks. And they continue to mature every day. Like in certain parts that were still soft, they're getting stiffer. And one of my problems actually is my stiff ends. Look how stiff that is. I have to do this to get it. It's kind of hard to curl them too because of the stiff ends. But I digress. Number 5. I wish I knew that they got longer. Well, I wish I knew that they got thinner as they got longer. Because I try to put a picture in also for this example. I thought they were gonna stay the thickness they were when they were shorter. I thought they were gonna stay like that forever. But no, not really. They got thinner. Like, these were actually pretty thick and I loved it. That's the way I wanted it. But as they get longer, they get thinner. And that's usually what I hear from people who are locked. The hair, I guess it just stretches out, and when it gets heavier, when you wash it and it dries and the hair contracts and all of that, it gets thinner as it gets longer. Number 6, I wish I started them myself, because really it's really easy to start them yourself. I just was really more so concerned about the parting and the neatness, and I didn't want to mess it up. But really, your locks don't have to be in a straight perfect row. They don't have to be perfect squares, whatever the case may be, because they are going to do their own thing at the end of the day. And there's a lot of people that once their locks get older and they've had them for a long time, that parting that they had at the beginning doesn't exist. I've been in the game 3 years, and it's safe to say my parting has definitely changed, especially in the front. But that is another thing. And number 7. And one misconception that I fell, I guess, victim to was thinking that locks are so high maintenance and I have to always do my hair, and every week I have to retwist, and from my experience and from my coming into realization about locks being actually naturally growing hair, you don't need to do all of that. They do their own thing. Like, I mean, if you're not free-forming and you want to keep your locks like tidy and done, of course you have to do them, but all that extra gel, that's one thing I stopped doing. I think I was about a year or almost 2 years in when I just completely stopped using gel, because it's so unnecessary. Like, if you have a style, you want to polish it up, you want to get the edges and stuff, you know, use a little gel or jam, whatever. But it's so unnecessary. As a black girl, I know all about the edges, so you can always just, you know, put some water on it, tie your hair, it will lay down for the most part. But all that gel, all that extra stuff, retwisting every week, that's really unnecessary for locks. My big boy interrupted. He interrupted mommy. Say hi.
Hi.
What you want? All right, buddy. Okay, that was my son. He wants to be everywhere I am. But one last thing I will say is, one thing that it was part of my thinking coming into locks, that they're supposed to look a certain way. Like I said, I looked at the lady in the magazine and I wanted exactly what her hair was, not realizing that locks are not perfect. They're just like people. They're not, there's no uniform, there's no cookie cutter. Your locks will look the way they want to look. Your locks will do what they do. Your locks will look how they want based on your hair texture, based on how you started them, based on how you take care of them too. All that gel and frying and drying, I don't even get under the dryer anymore, because I find it so unnecessary, and I feel like it damaged my hair for the few times that I did do it. So I don't even do that anymore. I just wash it, let it dry on its own. If I style it, and it dries in the style. But yeah, locks are not perfect. Locks are just like people. They do their own thing, and you gotta let them. Alright guys, that's it for this video. See you guys in my next video. Bye.